You tweeted that it has never been easier to be successful. Why do so many people feel like it's not?
I think it's just never been easier to be distracted. So it's like the bar's never been lower, but the bar is even lower to not do it. And I think people have never been more comfortable than they are today. And so it's like Netflix and chilling and like Uber and DoorDash and all of that stuff has just made everything like comfort. We're like comfort maxing right now. And so like all of these other tools, like, these software platforms and AI and all this stuff is like lowered the bar for people to make content or start businesses or advertise or whatever they want to do. But it's just like, it's so hard to take a risk when you could literally just do nothing. And the way that like society is now, it's like you're not going to go homeless and you're not going to starve. So like, which I see as the most exciting part, because you could take a huge shot and the worst case scenario is like, you're not going to starve and you're going to have shelter.
So do you think it's a blessing or a curse?
I would say it's a blessing. I mean, at the end of the day, I think technology is always going to move things forward. So that's like, it's never been easier than it is today. And 20 years ago, it was never easier than it was then up to that point. So it's like, it will always get easier for people to start businesses, which I think is a good thing.
In terms of optimizing for comfort, what is the downside of purely just being someone at home scrolling all the time? How big is it for them not to reach their potential?
I think it's a them thing. So I don't see it as a problem at all. I mean, I think it's only a problem if you're making some sort of demand of the universe that your life must be a certain way. And so I think that's where, it's kind of all the shoulds. Like my life should have meaning. My life should have this impact. My life should, all these things. If you believe that, then yeah, it'll be an issue because like I believe in conditional shoulds, not absolute shoulds. So like if this, then you shouldn't probably scroll on your phone as much. If you want to get in shape, like maybe don't eat more than you burn.
Mhm.
Like, but don't eat more than you burn as a general statement. It was like, do whatever you want. It's your life. I just have the issue when people want something different than the way they act.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's overall lowered the bar for excellence? Like a lot of people can kind of just become successful by happenstance or by luck now?
I think there are definitely people who get lucky. Repeat and serial entrepreneurs less so. I've only really encountered maybe like a couple people in my career from the entrepreneur side that I'm like, this guy was just lucky. I think there are elements of luck, but it's like luck becomes becomes gas more than the thing that like built the car. It's like they were going to be successful. They just got way more successful because they had like kind of multiple things kind of aligned.
Can you give us some examples of luck like that?
Yeah, sure. Like if you were an Amazon in 2013, 14, 15, and you put up a product, you could just crush. Like you didn't have to like really know anything. There was just all this demand that was there. If you were running Facebook ads in 2011, it was just like not hard to crush. If you were doing SEO in like 2008 and 7 with like, you could literally just put like coffee in like white font on a white background. So the whole background of a website just said coffee. But like if you looked at the site, you wouldn't see it. But if you like took a cursor, you could just see it just says coffee because the algorithms weren't like that advanced. And so you could just rank and get all of Google's traffic. So there was just like a lot of the things that were lucky were just like, typically, I'll put it differently. Luck will come from a supply demand discrepancy within a window of time. And so where there's a huge amount of demand and a small amount of supply, and then you happen to be one of those people who gets in on that. Now, that being said, part of that is like recognizing opportunity. And so like to what degree is that luck? I think the question of whether it's luck or not is whether you can repeat it.
So I'm curious where those opportunities are today, because it seems like every few years, in hindsight, you could look back and be like, that was the best time to do that.
Yeah.
What's going on today that people aren't recognizing the potential in?
I think there's micro and macro opportunities. So like from the macro perspective, I think we've had like 3 big ones. So at least in my lifetime. So it's like we've had internet, which is like kind of opportunity number 1. Opportunity number 2 is kind of like Web 2.0, which is social. And then opportunity 3 is AI now. So there's the 3 macro ones. Now underneath of that, it's kind of like, well, Facebook ads was kind of like an opportunity kind of like within that. And then like Google search was an opportunity. Like all of those are kind of like kind of like micro opportunities. Like I think like TikTok shop right now, a lot of people are kind of like in that Amazon of 2013, 14. Like I know a lot of people who've really never done much. And then just like within 60, 90 days are doing $1 million a month. And it's just because there's a huge supply demand discrepancy between the amount of influencers that are there that want to make money and the amount of products to sell. And they will just continue to populate it until eventually it becomes a stabilized market. But it's like when those land grabs occur, that's when there's typically outsized returns to be had.
What do you think people need to be able to capitalize on these opportunities?
I think you have to have skills.
Just straight up.
Yeah, like you just have to have skills. Like I remember it was really funny, like our first ever conversation that we had, I was like, man, if I had your amount of following, I was like, I'd be a billionaire.
Yeah.
And I saw that as a supply demand, like, and even so, like when you asked just a few minutes ago, like, you know, what things are there now? Like, I still kind of see social media still thinks there. I still think that opportunity exists for people if you're good, but maybe it's less so than when Instagram came out in 20, whatever year it was, when you could just post pictures of you on the sunset and have like 1 million followers and people would just buy because you just had this insane reach. But I saw it as the fact that we could still advertise ourselves and get paid to do it is still mind-boggling to me that like opportunity exists. Like you can build a brand and get paid to do it, which I think is insane.
Okay, so now it's arguable that you have his brand, if not even a bigger brand.
Yeah.
Did you accomplish that goal?
I won't be public about what our stuff is valued at, but I think that we've done well.
Yes.
Yeah.
The classic answer. That makes a lot of sense. Okay.
Yeah.